August 15th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly podcast. We have some, what do we got today? We have the Phillies. We'll get to them. We'll get to the Sixers schedule. Talk about the Eagles. Today, Ryan Matthews was released after passing his, clearing one of his physicals. So he has been released off the team. Nothing really surprising there. Eagles save $4 million in cap. That is not the something we also coming. He had had nowhere to be or no place on the team. So he's gone. It's $4 million in cap. And then Jordan Matthews got hurt. What was it? He got hurt in his first practice in Buffalo. This is kind of old news. I don't think I addressed it yesterday. I really don't. What does he have? Chip fracture in his sternum on Sunday. Oh, well. I might have mentioned it yesterday. I don't remember, but he's considered week to week. That's the one thing that is good about the Eagles not getting rid of Matthews. He can be injury prone. That was one of his big problems. He was our number one receiver, obviously, the last 2 years. Since in his career, he has 225 catches, 2,673 yards, 19 touchdowns. And that's better than Watkins. That's better than Sammy Watkins. But the problem is keeping him healthy. It's not like the Bills were getting Odell Beckham. Guess he's going to probably be their number one, number two. Bolden Matthews will probably be their number one, number two receivers. So I guess you could say it's going to be more awkward for Ronald Darby comes when they play the preseason game at the Link. So we'll see where that goes. We'll get into the training camp report. I haven't really done much of a training camp report the last couple weeks. Got the game on Thursday. It's going to be a nice thing to watch. All right, so here's the training camp article. So Jeffrey practiced today. Cox, who had back spasms, returned to practice. Bill's there. He didn't seem to be limited. Wendell Smallwood did a little teamwork, and I saw that Schwartz wants to run the ball a lot on Sunday. So we'll see where that goes. He definitely wanted to use Smallwood. Brandon Brooks got some work. He has an ankle issue. Peters was out to personal reasons. Vaitai still out from practice is Vaitai, Brooks, Turner, Andrews, Bryce Dreggs, and the other two guys are just nobodies. They did 11 on 11. Jeffrey drops an over the shoulder catch attempt. Oh, come on now, Sean from Carson Wentz. The season is officially over. Okay. I'm just reading the article from Bleeding Green Nation. Apparently Jeffrey had a nice catch. Thrown right to C.J. Smith, but Jeffrey caught the ball. Darby broke up a false pass attempt for that was going to be intended for Sheldon Gibson, who would probably drop the ball anyway. So good job, Darby McLeod. I mean, this is practice. I'm just trying to see what's the deal for Thursday night. I mean, I don't really see anything for the Thursday night for who's going to play Thursday night. That's all I really kind of want to see, because I want to see more of the first team offense. Like I said yesterday, I want to see more of the first team offense. I don't know if I'm going to see the first team offense because you have all these I mean, they probably ask the questions. They probably have an idea who's going to play. I don't really see where. I don't really see it. I want to see who's going to play. Jesus Christ. That's pretty much all really what happened in practice today. I want to see a full quarter of the first team offense. All right, so and here's another one. Jeffrey and Darby are going to make their debuts. Okay, good. Okay. We get to see Jeffrey. So, yeah, Darby doesn't like his number. Darby hates his number. I mean, come on, it's just a number. Blunt switched to 929. I think did he switch to 29 or 28? No, I think he probably got 29. And Darby got 35, and now he doesn't like his number. I mean, it's just a number, though. I mean, if it really affects your psyche that much, just talk to Wendell Smallwood. I mean, geez, come on. I mean, I know he wants 28, but we'll see. Jeffrey wants to play this week. Okay. Bleeding Green Nation is a very good site. It's a pretty good site. And you get to see all your Eagles reports and everything. They do like live reports. It's a good site. Now Jeffrey wants to make his debut this week, like I said. So we'll see what happens. Personally, I want to see the whole. Like I said, I pretty much said this multiple times yesterday. I want to see Aguilar. I want to see battle for the slot. Because Matt Collins has really impressed me. I know he's only played one game, got one big touchdown catch in the preseason game, but I want to see him. I really do. So we'll see where that goes. I want to see Wentz, obviously. I just want to see a full series, like multiple series of this first team offense. And the one time that they were in there, they got a touchdown, and the line played like shit. And I understand it's a preseason game; you're going against second and third teamers, but I want our offense to be strong, to be a strong offense. So I really want to see all of them out for the first quarter against the Bills. The line has to show that they can block. I want to see Blunt run the ball a lot. I want to see Sproles run the ball a lot. I want to see Smallwood, if he can, run the ball. This is where I agree with Frank Reich. No, I want to see Hollins. I want to see Aguilar. I want to see all of them because, this is what it's going to most likely be come September 10th when we play the Washington Redskins at FedEx Field, which I ruled that we're playing there to open up the season. And then you have Arrowhead week. I mean, we'll see where this goes. But That's that. How long have I been on for? It's good. All right, so we'll get into the Sixers schedule right now. Well, I mean, they got some primetime games, but with the with the first overall pick in the draft, I mean, you obviously kind of expect that with Fultz. You're going to probably see him going against um, Tatum a couple times. He's going to go against um, Lonzo Ball. Um, so, yeah, I mean, that's what you kind of expect. Um, if you do have that number one um, overall pick on your team from the previous draft, and plus, a lot of hype surrounding the team, which, to be honest with you, I've been thinking a lot the last couple days about the Sixers. Um, you know, there's there's a chance that this team might not turn out to be what everyone thinks. I'm just saying. I mean, no one's kind of really bringing that to the table. I mean, I haven't really. I mean, this is the problem with Philly. You get some good players, and you put them with, like, how should I say this? You know, I'm trying to think here. You have like Joel Embiid, who's pretty injury prone. You put Simmons, Dario, who he's played with, Fultz, Redick around him. He's only played with one of those other guys, and that's Dario. He hasn't played a game with Simmons. He hasn't played a game with Fultz. He hasn't played a game with Redick. I do. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know where to sit with this team because you haven't seen him play a game yet. You haven't seen him play one game, except for Dario and Embiid. And Simmons, I mean, Embiid is pretty injury prone. He got hurt last year. He played with an injury. 2 years ago, he was hurt. He's been hurt for the last couple of years. And yet you're going to put four guys, you're going to put three other guys around him that haven't even played a game, and you're going to say that they're going to be one of the best teams in basketball. They're going to be a playoff team. And two of those guys are going to play it's going to be their rookie year. Simmons and Fultz. My big problem with this team is I think they can be very, very good, but they have to be healthy and they have to get along on the court. They can get along they can be best buddies in Camden at practice, but nothing starts. But the real thing doesn't start until October 17th at Verizon Center. Okay, so I got the schedule. I mean, and like I said, don't get me wrong here. I like to see him make the playoffs. I like to see him be a very good basketball team, very, very elite basketball team. But they have to produce. They have to play well. I don't want to jinx them too. I really don't. So up at Washington of October, um, that is that's going to be on ESPN. That's Wednesday night. Then that Friday, they're going to come home to play the Celtics. It's going to be a big First game of the season playing next Fargo Center. It's Tatum Fultz. Surprised that game is not prime time. They did not. It doesn't have any prime time listing on this one. Another big game. They play the Rockets a couple times. 25th of October and at Wells Fargo, and then October 30th. I got a couple other games after that. Then they go out for a little bit of a California, to a trip out to California, beginning on the 9th of November, Sacramento. Then they play the Warriors, Clippers, and then they play the Lakers. That's a primetime game, and that ends on November 15th. Then they come back home and they play the Lakers again on the 18th of November. And then November 30th, they'll play at Boston. And then, the 27th, they play Cleveland. That's a big one. All right, so 27th, they play Cleveland at Wells Fargo. 30th of November, they are at Boston. And then you go to December 7th, it's another matchup with the Lakers. And then December 9th, they're at Cleveland. Move down. Yeah, they got a few games against, they got the Oklahoma City, Minnesota, New Orleans. Then you got Christmas at the Knicks, 12 o'clock in the Garden. By the way, that Lakers game on the December 7th, that's TNT. Oklahoma City on December 15th, that's ESPN. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they're at Portland. That's another TNT game. January 11th, that's the London game against the Celtics. January 18th, they are at TD Garden again. That's a TNT game. Oklahoma City on the 20th of January. That's ESPN. Friday, February 2nd. February 2nd. Yeah, February 2nd. That is an ESPN game against Miami. February 6th. That's a TNT game against Washington. Another ESPN game against the Wizards on the 25th. At Cleveland, TNT, March 1st. They've got the Bucks. That's a ESPN game. And you kind of move down. You have a long stretch of they get the Knicks a lot. They do get the Knicks a lot. Last game of the year, Milwaukee, April 11th. That's a primetime game, and then the April 6th, they got a game against Cleveland. So April 11th, that's ESPN against the Milwaukee Bucks. That's an 8 o'clock game. So they got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 14 primetime basketball games this year for the Sixers. 14 times. That's big. That is very, very big. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get if you have the number one overall pick and you get all this hype. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a very interesting game on the 20th of October. Let's see what the tickets start at. I mean, I know the tickets are not cheap. The tickets are not cheap for that game. I was looking at StubHub last night for the Phillies Cubs. It's like $750 for the tickets. I mean, that's insane. A defending champ coming in, and it's like an $8 ticket. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the Phillies are bad, but you expect a little more out of the defending champ and a team that's going to probably go to the playoffs again. All right, so here's the Sixers for October 20th. This is on StubHub, right? Oh my god. The cheapest ticket, $138. Row 9, 208, which is the nosebleeds to the mezzanine, um, in the Wells Fargo Center, and that is a $138 ticket. Now it's a lot of the I don't know if it's did the tickets go on sale. I don't think the full game tickets went on sale, did they? Individual game tickets. Oh, they go on sale in like September. Okay. So I mean, this is we're sitting in August 15th. I mean, yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. Not all the sections are available on here on StubHub. But I mean, that's a big home opener, though. I mean, nothing really surprised me about a $140 ticket because it's Fultz versus Tatum, Celtics Sixers, a rivalry that I think there's a chance that it could be back. Um, that's a big home opener. That is a big home opener for the Sixers. So yeah, all right. Now back to this debate. We have live chat action. Joey says, "Podcast with Sup Joe, Andrew June. Baseball is boring." All right, we had a big debate last night on our group chat. Okay, on our fantasy group chat with how everyone thinks that baseball is boring. I think baseball is actually doing well. I mean, after the World Series last year, I think baseball is doing very well. I think it was the most watched World Series in years. Um, you know, I've been watching a lot of game. I think this is like the week where I've seen the most baseball out of this whole year. I know I've been to 9 Phillies games, but still, last week I was watching the Mets Dodgers. I mean, that was kind of. I mean, I kind of just wanted to. I mean, there was 2 primetime games with the Mets and Dodgers. That was Saturday was Fox, or yeah, Saturday was Fox, and then Sunday was Sunday Night Baseball, and the Dodgers just pouncing on the Mets. It wasn't really much of a game, but I mean, people want to see the Dodgers. It's New York, LA. I mean, people. I mean, the Dodgers are playing great. They're on the road to 117 wins. And then this past weekend, it was the Yankees Red Sox, and of course you're going to watch Yankees Red Sox. I mean, there were 2. I mean, Saturday was a little bit of a blowout, but Sunday night was big. I mean, seeing that the young guy hit the home run off Chapman, a rookie lefty matchup. I mean, that was just nuts. And then the Red Sox came back and won the game. Obviously won the ball game 3-2. And then last night I was watching the Subway Series, Yankees Mets. I'm watching the Phillies with all this too. So, there's Yankees Mets, and it was still a good game. I mean, I know the Yankees won, but I'm getting bashed by my fantasy group because they don't like baseball. Well, I mean, some would though. I know there's a couple people in our group chat that like baseball. So we were back and forth going on at it. And then I'm like, well, baseball does better than soccer. And then they're like, they come back and they're like, oh, soccer's better. I mean, it does better in the world. No shit, it does better in the world because it's all the Hispanic countries in South America. No shit. I cannot sit through one soccer match. Just because, I mean, I think it's because these guys, our school had our homecoming as our soccer game last year because they canceled the football season, which is stupid. That's a whole nother thing. It's a soccer match, right? And now they're like, I mean, it's high school soccer and pro soccer, or the Premier League, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, high school soccer is actually kind of entertaining, but but it's different compared to like the Premier League, the Barclays Premier League, or the MLS, which is absolutely boring. That's the only soccer they've seen, and they're trying to tell me high school soccer is the only soccer they've seen, and they're trying to tell me that baseball. They're talking about general soccer. It's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Get ecstatic over the game of soccer. I mean, like the Union have a whole supporters group. It keeps them entertained, just banging on drums and yelling and screaming. Maybe it keeps them entertained. I cannot sit through a whole soccer game. I could sit through a baseball game, and I have no problem sitting with through a baseball game. And I don't think baseball's boring at all. And the one kid that's telling me that baseball's boring is a huge golf fan. So, and many people think that golf is the most boring sport. Now, I watch golf. I mean, I'll try and watch the majors, but please. I mean, I think the entertainment level with golf and baseball is the same. How can you like golf and then hate baseball? I really don't get it. I really don't get it. Kid works at the country club too. All right, we're gonna get into speaking of baseball. We're gonna get into Phillies. Rhys Hoskins last night. Phillies lost 4-6, or 6-4. I should say, against San Diego Padres, where they've been. I mean, in San Diego, where they've been winning, where they've always won and they've always played well. You know, I mean, they couldn't really get the big hit when the bases were loaded. The bullpen sucked. They only had Pinto and Hobie Milner. But Pinto pitched like an inning and a half, something like that. And he friggin' blew the game for him. I mean, he's just awful. But the big story about last night was Rhys Hoskins hitting his first 2 big league home runs, his first multi-home run game, his first major league home run. Excuse me. Yeah. What? Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. All right. 10. Yeah. Okay. Bye. My dad. Oh my God. Sorry about that. But anyway, Hoskins hit the first 2 home runs of his career. The bullpen sucked. So, yeah. Leiter's on the mound against San Diego. I think Leiter might win the game. The thing with the Phillies is I feel like there's only one guy in the rotation that's proven to me that is here to stay, and that's Nola. I think Eichhoff can. I think Pivetta can. And I think Velasquez. All 3 of them, I think, have the ability to stay. But they need to go in the right. I feel like they need help. Especially Velasquez. Velasquez, I mean, he's having a lot of issues with. I know he's had a couple injuries. He's having a lot of issues with the pitch count. I mean, we'll see where that goes. He goes for the strikeouts. I mean, the thing is, in this game, you cannot go for the strikeout. I mean, at the pro level, you're gonna have to get guys to ground out. You're gonna have to use breaking pitches, jam guys, force guys to pop ups. I mean, a strikeout's good. I mean, you need to learn how to jam guys. at this game, and that's the one thing Velasquez needs to do. Because he can be a very good pitcher. I mean, look at what he did at the beginning of last year: 16 strikeout game, a shutout. He pitched a couple of shutouts. So I mean, he has the ability to be a very good pitcher. Um, Same thing with Eichhoff. Eichhoff's issue is same thing. The big thing with the Phillies rotation is they need to go deeper in the ball games, and they need to limit the number of pitches they're throwing. They need to keep the pitch count down, and they need to at least pitch 6, 7 innings a game. Look at the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers are a very good baseball team because they have good pitching. They have Ryu, Kershaw. I know he's hurt. That's the basis of a very good baseball team, pitching. Look at how the Mets made it to the World Series 2 years ago. They had DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, Cologne. They had good pitching. They need good pitching. The Phillies need good pitching. That's the bottom line. Thing with Eichhoff is they all of them need to go deeper in the games. The thing with Eichhoff, he would have a winning record right now if the offense did their job, which they didn't. They did not did their job. They did not do their job, and most of his losses came in the first half of the year. And that's another thing. The Phillies need a big hit. They needed. It's the thing with the Phillies this year is the pitchers have to go deeper in the ball games. The offense needs the big hit, and the bullpen needs the hole. They'd be in a much different situation. And I know they want to build Neris as the closer, but when we had Neshek, we would have won at least 5 or 6 extra games, and I think they're the number one team. They have the most run losses in baseball, and the reason, I think they really should have put Neshek as the closer when he was here. They want to, if they want to get to a 500 record, if they want to come close to a 500 record, I think that's what they should have done, and they would have won at least half of those one-run ball games if they put Neshek as the closer. Which they didn't. So tonight's later. He's on the hill. We'll see where that goes. So I was watching the Subway Series last night, like I said. That's one thing I watched last night. I was watching that before the Phillies game, and I think the Mets to hit, probably maybe beat the Yankees with a few home runs after playing a series here in Philly. Yankee Stadium obviously is a short. It's 318 down the line and left, 314 and right. I thought they were going to be playing a banged up, the Yankees team that might have not gotten over that Boston loss. Red Sox taking 2 out of the 3, but the Yankees did win tonight. I kind of wish tonight was nationally televised. It's Sonny Gray versus Jacob deGrom, and I think that's going to be a very big game. I think that's going to be a very big game for the New York Yankees. Judge hit a home run last night. I think that kind of broke his slump. Dominic Smith has not really. I know his defenses. I know his defense is very good. But he has not really impressed me. I know he's only played a number of games. He's played one less game than Rhys Hoskins has. But he has not really impressed me. I don't know why. Something just doesn't click. He's the new first baseman. He's the first baseman for the Mets. And then they got Rosario. Rosario's been there for a little bit. So hopefully the same thing happens with Rhys Hoskins. I think Rhys is going to really have a big week. Or on the West Coast for the next few days. They come back home. They play the Marlins, the Cubs, the Braves. I guess that's kind of to close out the summer. Which I hate to say. I mean, the summer's been flying by. In about 2 weeks from this Saturday, 2 weeks from this Saturday, 2 weeks, we will be in the first very good Saturday, the first good Saturday of college football. A couple big games to keep an eye on is Florida and Michigan. That's at AT&T Stadium. And opening up the new stadium in Atlanta is Bama and Florida State. That's going to be a big game. That is going to be a big game. We all know Bama's going to win. I mean, that's how it is. I cannot wait to see Florida, Michigan. I hope Michigan gets pounced. I hope Harbaugh just loses his mind on the bench. And that's that. I mean, you guys know my stance on Michigan. I think that team is very overrated. I think they get a lot of attention because of their head coach. And I think Spade is going to be the only big playmaker on that team. I don't think the defense is going to do anything. They lost Charlton. They lost Peppers. The offense lost a big playmaker in Jake Butt. So, we'll see where that goes. But obviously, Alabama's going to probably win that game at Mercedes-Benz, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or whatever it is in Atlanta. Because, they're Alabama. They always win. They're like the Patriots, college football. You always see them win every week. So I got a CBS Sports notification that I think Peterson is and Alshon Jeffrey in the mix, which is good. I mean, I kind of want to see him this week. See how Wednesday the ball on. See what that's going to look like. I also want to see Torrey Smith. I want to see Matt Collins. I mean, I said this. You guys know by now. You better know by now. Where that's going to go. I haven't really talked about the whole Zeke thing a lot. And I will bring him up when I do my fantasy football preview, thon, whatever it is. That's going to be next. That's going to probably be next. Hold on, let me look. I wrote it down. That's going to be next Monday night. On the 21st. I'll probably be doing it very late. I probably will be doing it at around midnight. It's going to be a little late one. I'll tell you that. I'm going to probably be doing it very like midnight, 1 o'clock when everyone's asleep and everything, and it's quiet. So that's when we'll do that. We'll go through all of the best players at the position, the stats. We'll go through the keeper-worthy players. If your league has a keeper, we'll do that. And that will be next Monday night. That is going to be, I'm going to do that at midnight. Obviously, you don't have to tune in live because all the regular podcasts are live. They just go straight to the account as videos. So that's what we'll do. But I want to bring up the Zeke thing real quick. Tell you what, I mean, he's 6 games. Cowboys fans are losing their shit. And to be honest with you, I mean, as much as I want to see him on the bench, and I think he should be on the bench I was glad that he got 6 games. But I think he deserved it. He very deserved it. But I think he's going to appeal. Obviously, I think he's appealing. And what I think is going to happen is, I think, they're going to narrow it down. Here's why. Because the NFL is going to lose money. And that's the team that has the most primetime games out of the schedule. That is a team that has the most, I hate to say it, they have the most fans. You look around, there's always a Cowboys fan somewhere. All the memorabilia stores have Cowboy stuff. All the, if you go to Dick's or Modell's or not Rally House, but like one of these stores that have apparel, you're gonna see something Cowboys like 8 times out of 10, probably. Um, Here, even in our area, I mean, there's a lot of Cowboys fans. Um, so I mean, and especially the states where there's no football team, like I mean North Dakota, but we all hope and pray that most people from North Dakota are Eagles fans, and some are Vikings fans. But like, give me a state like Oklahoma. Oklahoma probably has a lot of Cowboys fans. Wyoming probably, no. Montana probably has Cowboys fans. There's a lot of Cowboys fans. California, that's where there's a lot of Cowboys fans. But they're everywhere. They're everywhere because they're considered America's team. Okay, so I mean that's just horrible to say. But there's a lot of Cowboys fans. There's a lot of money if they suspend a very good player on the Cowboys, a star running back, and I think he's in the top of NFL jersey sales. So Brady's number one. He's in number 4. Oh wait, according to this one, when is this? When did this come out? Oh, this came out this year. So he's in number 4 in jersey sales. So people like him. So here the top 5 are Brady, Lynch, Prescott, Elliott, Carr, and Carr. 10 is Beckham, Wentz, Rodgers, Mack, Antonio Brown. So he's in the top 5. So I mean, people like him, and I really think that the NFL is going to lose a lot, and they're going to narrow it down to 4 games, 3 or 4 games. I mean, I hate to say it, and what that does to should fantasy teams owners draft them? We'll talk about that in the fantasy thing. The Philly here. That'll be called the Philly Podcast Fantasy-thon. Okay, Fantasy-thon. All right, we'll call it that. And that'll be on Monday night at midnight. 12 or midnight or 12:30. One of those times. It'll be very late, but that's when we're gonna do it. So yeah, so it's 2:48 now. Gonna wrap it up. Phil's play tonight. 10-10, I think. Later's on the mound. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more from Hoskins. Hopefully he'll be on the tear. Hopefully we can grab this win as they move forward in the West Coast. We are going to draw one day closer to the next preseason game. First game at the Link. Then next week they play the Dolphins. Last week the preseason they play the Jets, which is kind of meaningless. It's just a boring football game to watch. It's all third, fourth stringers trying to make the team. Then that Saturday is the big college football first Saturday of college football. Where it's going to be very nice to watch game day in the morning and just have that back. And then high school football seasons open up in the next couple weeks. That's going to be big. So, yeah. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be on at the same time. And yeah. All right.